I'm going to be making quick processed pickles. Recap what I've done so far to prepare. I have got my cucumbers washed. I'm also going to be doing some hot pickles. I'm going to add that, and I'm just going to be pickling some of my jalapeno peppers because I have some. I don't want to waste them. I'll just pickle them right along with my pickles. My pickle juice has came to a boil. I am doing the kosher dill fast processing pickle. You just use white vinegar, water, and the packet. I have my water bath going. I have all my supplies here, sanitized, dipped in hot water. I have my lids back here. It was boiling. I just turned it off. I washed my hands, but I'll wash them again really quickly. And we're going to start cutting our pickles and then stuffing in our jars. I'll put the juice over the pickles and then wipe down the lids, the rims, so that way my lids will seal nice. I'll put them into my water bath and I will process them for 15 minutes because I am doing pint quarts. I'm doing quarts. I do have some pints that I'm going to be doing for my peppers, but let's see if you can see. Okay, so I cut off the ends of mine just because that's not my most desirable part. I'll give those to my chicken. So there's my chicken bucket right back there. I'm doing spears. I asked Jim what kind of pickles he wanted. He wants some pickle spears and he wants some pickles for sandwiches, like hamburgers and stuff like that. You can do them in 4s, you can do them in 8s, you can do them however you want to do them. I'm going to do this particular one in 8s because I think they'll fit better in my jar that way. These jars, I've already ran them all through my dishwasher on hot to sanitize them all. So they are all sanitized and ready for this stuff. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I don't really like doing video and then uploading it to the internet for how-tos. I would rather just do live videos. So I've noticed on Facebook when I'm doing my how-to videos, they're only lasting for 30 days and then Facebook is deleting my videos. So that's a little bit annoying to me. So today I decided to do my video on here and then I'm going to upload it on YouTube and then share it on my Facebook. And if I get so many followers on, I'm not going to be able to stuff those very well. If I get followers on YouTube, then I'll be able to do live videos because I'm not going to sit there and edit my videos and do stuff like that because really I just don't have time to do stuff like that. I'm going to stagger pack this one and see if I can get more to fit in it than I did that one. And I'm going to do, like I said, some slices instead of all spears. So I'm going to do a couple with spears, a couple with slices. I'm going to do a couple that I'm going to add some peppers to. That way they'll be spicy. I would like mine to be spicy better. I think Jim would like his to not be spicy. He doesn't like a lot of spice. I like hot stuff. I find it to be addicting. I can't stop eating it. Probably because once you stop eating it, your mouth starts burning too. As long as you keep eating, it doesn't burn as bad. So I don't know if that's good or bad, because then I eat more. But they actually do say if you eat spicy food, it's supposed to raise your metabolism. So you actually burn more fat, lose weight, eating spicy food. Trying to do this as quick as I can, just so my video doesn't take forever. I hate long videos. I hate when people sit and talk a bunch before they actually get to doing what they're doing. I never thought about doing my food stuff and my how-to videos on YouTube much, just because when I go to YouTube, I'm usually on YouTube for educational. I don't even have it in my social media app window thing on my phone. I have it in educational area. I guess it is kind of a social media thing. I don't know. I certainly go there to learn stuff whatever I'm doing. If I'm doing my quilting or crocheting, it'll just recap like different things for whatever I'm doing. That one's in there pretty good. I'm gonna start doing my slices, because I'm gonna be able to fit a lot more in with slices. That way my juice will go a lot farther too. I'm gonna make all these fit in here, because 2 is plenty for shoving in there. For spears, I can only fit 8 jars in my water bath. So my goal here is to get everything in 8 jars. That way I don't have to do it twice. Shove it in there. I'm gonna bend them over on the top. Help me see, bend them over. Get them in there. Got 2 more I gotta shove in this one. Get them all in there. You can see, just shoving them in there. I don't care if some of those seeds pop off or anything. I'm not really wanting to eat those seeds anyway. I like the flesh part of my pickle. Okay, now I'm going to just slice them. You don't want to slice them too thin. You want to, I don't know what that is, about 1/4 of an inch. Now, why I say this is because if you slice them too thin, your pickles are going to end up too soft. If you want a little firm pickle, I would recommend you trying to slice them all about 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna call that 1/4 of an inch. I'm a girl, maybe it's 1/4 of an inch, maybe it's something different, but that's what I call it. Not good with measurement, not good with square footage, any of that stuff. Somebody asked me how many square foot my house is. I have no clue, because that's not something I know about at all. I thought about doing some whole pickles too. These are pickling cucumbers that I grew this year. Just because I wanted to do, and I will a different day, I'm going to do some in a brine. I have a really, really good recipe for brined pickles. They're called candy dill. Some of my most favorite. They take a little bit longer than these do, because these are quick process pickles. So you just bring the mixture to a boil. You stir it the whole time you're bringing it to a boil. Now, I don't stir it the entire actual time. I do go back, be diligent. Don't just walk away and not stir it at all. You're supposed to stir it, but you do not have to sit there and constantly stir it the whole time it's coming to a boil, because it takes a while to get to a boil, that's why. So, like I said, try to stay consistent with your cutting, you want them all about the same size, or else you're gonna get mushy pickles. You don't want mushy pickles. Shove them in there pretty good. You want to leave like a 1/4 of an inch headspace too. That way, so what I do is I bring it like to right here. The lip right there. Try to take it to that. That's where I try to go to. Like I said, I am going to do some that are going to be spicy. So I'm getting ready to do that here in a minute. My peppers, I don't have as many peppers as I do my cucumbers. So I'm doing the quart size pickle jars, but I'm only going to do pint size of my peppers because I don't have as many. I would have had as many, but I strung them up on a big string. They're upstairs where I could show you that real quick. I do it every year because that way if you're making chili or you're making pepper flakes or anything like that, they'll be dried. You can just grab them and flake them. I haven't bought pepper flakes in years because I just string my own peppers and let them dry, and whenever my pepper flakes is empty, I just crush up some more and fill my little jar. So I do not have to buy pepper flakes. I don't have to buy hot sauce either because these little peppers right here, and the jalapeno peppers or whatever peppers that you are growing, not bell peppers, hot peppers. If you're growing them, you can make hot sauce, and that, it's a fermented hot sauce. So easy, so good. We'll do that a different day. I've got my little tongs over there. I wanted to use it to help push this down some so I can fit more in my jar. I got to pay more attention to shoving them in my jar instead of talking, but shoving them in there. I broke that one. That's not most desirable. Try not to break them. Okay, now I have already washed some of these, all of them. I've washed all my peppers. Like I said, I am going to do the pint size for my peppers. So I'm going to cut them about the same, about what I'm going to call a 1/4 of an inch. I haven't measured them. Don't actually know if that's a 1/4 of an inch, if anybody's like trying to figure that out. So last year when I made them too, what I did is I took a couple of these, I think they're called Tabasco peppers, and I mixed them in there too. Just cut them right up, just like that. I use the seeds because the seeds are where the heat is, and I'm gonna put them right in my jar too. That add a little flavor, a little heat. Not that my jalapeno peppers are not already hot enough, because they are. Chop them up, chop them up, chop them up. I said I've already got all my other stuff back there pre-done. I've got all my water already to a boil and hot. I got everything sanitized back there, my lids. These peppers, I can smell them. They are smelling delicious, and they are smelling hot. I'm only gonna get one jar probably of my peppers. I put these peppers pretty much on everything. I'll put them on my hamburgers, I'll put them on nachos, I'll put them on pizza, anything, because like I said, I like hot. You can also, if you're making a homemade salsa, you can You can use them for your homemade salsa. You can use them in your Mexican food. You can just pick one out and eat it. I do that sometimes too. They're pretty hot though. My last batch from last year, I was a bit surprised how hot they were. Some people can't handle the heat, but I do like it. I feel like I'm doing good stuff for myself when I eat a hot pepper. Just because I'm raising my metabolism. That's what I tell myself. No, it really does say that. If you research it, it says hot food is supposed to raise your metabolism. That's always a plus and a bonus. Plus, I just find it addicting. I'm addicted to hot food. I can't help myself. If it's there, I'm probably going to eat it. And I think my Tabasco sauce, there's my jar of peppers, I'm going to do a mix now because I'm doing it myself. I can just do whatever I want. If I want to make hot peppers or hot pickles, I can make hot pickles. So here comes a batch of hot pickles for this one. Just because I'm putting them all in the same water bath don't mean they all have to be exactly the same thing. They're going to process the same amount of time. Usually your pints, they'll only process for 10 minutes, and then your quarts for 15 minutes of pickles. But it's not going to hurt my peppers at all to process for 5 more minutes. It'll be perfectly fine. I probably am going to use these on hamburgers or just for snacking. So I am going to do slices for my hot pickles. There's only Gemini here, so we cannot eat everything that I make. So I give this away for holidays, for birthdays, for just because I want to. I'll give some to my neighbors, my friends, whatever. They make really good gifts. Who doesn't like a homemade vegetable canned? I do. I do like my jars back. Just FYI, for anybody I ever give something to, if you don't mind, give my jar back to me. If you have time, if you can save it and give it back, I'm not gonna mind. I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you gave my jar back to me. No, I'm gonna be like, oh, that was so thoughtful of you to give my jar back to me. So I can make more stuff, and I'll give you some more stuff in the future because you gave my jar back to me. Just throwing that out there. You don't have to give my jar back to me. If you're busy and you don't have time to give my jar back to me, or you accidentally throw it away or break it or whatever happens, that's okay too. You don't have to give my jar back to me. But, see, I got the peppers in there. These are gonna be hot. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got room for 2 more. I might make another batch of the hot just because it sounds like it's gonna be good to me. I want a hot pickle. So where these are fast processed, these pickles will be ready by tomorrow, super fast. When I'm making my brine and doing my pickles that way, it does take over a month because they're fermented pickles. They are not cooked. They just sit on the counter. They last forever too. Just sitting on the counter. these ones, I'll refrigerate them before I eat them. They'll go in the refrigerator, and then they'll be cold when I eat them, and then they'll get stored in the refrigerator. They will not just be stored on the counter. So if you do not have a lot of refrigerator space and stuff like that, I recommend the brined ones. They're called candied dill. So they're dill, but they're sweet. They're some of my favorite pickles, actually. Now, Jim hasn't got to try my candied dill pickles yet, because this is actually my first year of making pickles for him to have. I made some with my great nieces the other day, and we had one jar that, because only 8 jars fit in my canner, so we had one jar that didn't get canned, so it had to go into the refrigerator right away. So he ate those, and he loved them. So I told him I will make him some. And that's how come we're here today, making pickles. Because Jim likes them and he wants some. And I like them too. And what else am I going to do with all these cucumbers? I do like just eating cucumbers and salad and stuff. I grew spinach out there called Malabar spinach. And it's for hot weather. So we'll be able to have salads. There's that one. All summer long with fresh spinach. And you know what? I went to a cooking class at the Learning Kitchen, and it was for a shrimp and spinach risotto. So that was absolutely delicious. And I'm going to be making that this week because I got so much spinach. That's why. So I actually have a Walmart order coming today, and I got shrimp coming, so I can make that. The secret to thickening the sauce in my class, they didn't put it on the recipe that they send home with you, because whenever you go, they'll send the recipe home with you. But they always will teach you a little secret when you're there that they leave off the recipe. So you actually have to just fill that in yourself, so that way you'll remember the secret if you come back in a year or two to try to make the recipe and you haven't written it down. You're not going to know it, because they don't just add it for some reason. I find that so weird. But they don't. I guess because they want you to come to the class and everything. So, but anyway, the secret is heavy whipping cream. You add the heavy whipping cream at the end when you're making your risotto. And it helps thicken it up and make it really good and creamy. And it's delicious. I don't know if they do that on Hell's Kitchen, because that's where I first learned about risotto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 jars. They're all pretty stuffed. So we're gonna head on over to here. I hear all my stuff boiling there. This has already started boiling. I'm gonna turn it back on just to get it back up there again. This is my juice, already boiled. I'm gonna move my jars to over by my stove. Moving them all over there. I have my cloth there that I'm gonna wipe off all my rims after. Almost done. Moving one at a time. That way I don't drop them, because I've got this stick in my other hand. Better safe than sorry. Don't drop your jar, make a mess. That's never fun for no one. Okay, so I'm gonna sit you over here, and I think you can see my area. Rinse my hands real quick, because I was just doing that. Got stuff everywhere. Dry my hands off. Turn you back around this way, and we are going to start doing this. I am going to take a tiny bit of water out of this and put it in here, hot boiling water. Why I'm doing that is because this is my tea towel, the handkerchief. I'm going to wipe the rims of my jars before I stick them in. So here we go. I've already sanitized it, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it back down in there again, because that water is boiling. So nice and hot. Put this here, and I'm going to start putting my juice in my jars. This juice has already boiled. I brought it to a boil before I got on camera, because it takes it a minute to boil, and just to make my video shorter, I just did it before. So I'm going to bring my juice just to the same level that I told you that I was going to bring my cucumbers to. Now these cucumbers, they are going to soften. Right now they're still cucumbers, they're not pickles. So once they do soften some, they are going to go below that. That's as far as I'm filling that. I don't want to overfill it. My peppers, and do that same thing just to that bottom rim right there. You see? I'm using my little funnel so I can try to keep my edges as clean as possible. That way my lids will seal. Stir it with this. I'm going to move this out of here. Stir my pickle juice. Get this out of here so it's not in my way. Right to there. Moving right along. I'm going to shove those down in there. Like I said, they're going to soften too, and they'll go down. So it'll be fine. Just making pickles here. Quick process dill pickles. Very quick and easy. Anybody can do it. Sometimes stuff sounds hard when you're reading about it, but really it's not. I'm going to be doing sourdough bread here. I got my starter over there, it's rising. I'm not going to be doing it today just because doing one thing a day on here. Just trying to get caught up with all my stuff I'm doing around the house, because I get behind with my different chores and my garden. And, so today I'm just doing the pickles. Doing pickles. Not going to sing because nobody wants to hear that. Not pleasant. Sometimes it accidentally happens, but I'll try hard not to let that happen. Don't want to run anybody off because my singing, I inherited it from my mom. Her voice, neither one of us can sing. Actually, anytime I sing, she tells me to shut up. My husband, Jim, he has to listen to it and tolerate it just because I'm a songbird and I sing, and so he just has to listen to it because only happy people sing, and I'm a very happy person, so I'm singing all the time. That's right. Try not to do it right now though, like I said. About started breaking out in song again. especially because I'm just actually sitting here doing this in my kitchen all by myself. I talk to myself all the time anyway. Jim's always like, oh, I didn't hear you. What did you say? I'll be like, oh, that's okay. I wasn't talking to you. I was just talking to myself. Sometimes I talk to him. Sometimes I talk to myself. Right now, I kind of feel like I'm talking to myself too. But like I said, it's not anything out of the normal. I do it all the time. Not in public. I mean, I don't try to walk around the grocery store talking to anybody here. Down the street. Don't sit on a bench talking to myself. Although nowadays you definitely see all kinds of people doing that kind of stuff. You don't know if they're on the phone. Nowadays people have those things in their ears and they're talking. Half the time, I think those are phony calls. They're not really talking to nobody. It's a phony call. That's what they're called. If you're pretending like you're on the telephone and you're not. So right now, I'm wiping all my rims to make sure there's no juice, no cucumber, no anything on there, so that my seals, pickle juice will stain your fingers too. You'll look like you're a smoker. You know how those smokers, their fingers sometimes will get stained, like funny color, tobacco color or whatever. Your fingers getting that pickle juice will definitely do that. This one's a little higher than I wanted it to be. We'll see how that one works. If it does good, then that's good. If not, I'll just stick it in the refrigerator. So how you'll tell if your jars are sealed or not when you're done is you'll push on the top of them. Push the lid on the top of them. And if there's any give and it's like pop, 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 you did not get a good seal. So this over here is boiling. See that? So I'll take my lids out from this boiling. And I'm just gonna put it right on top of there. Take my lid, and I'm only gonna do it finger tight. Don't make it too tight, so just finger tight like that. Don't crank it down. You want it to be able to breathe a bit. I think I might have to cut a little bit off of that one actually, because those pickles are sticking up. I don't want them to do that. Get down in there. I'll push them good. Push them down in there. We'll see how that works. Get my fingers off over here again. Continue going. Putting my lids on. Only going finger tight. I always call it man strength with Jim. Sometimes he puts lids on so tight, nobody can ever open them again. You'll not be able to open that jar. I'm like, why do you use your man strength to close jars? Did you not want anybody to ever get in that jar again? I certainly can't open it. It's annoying too, being a girl. And like I said before, I'm not a weak girl. I'm a little strong girl. Not really strong. I'm older-ish. That we don't have to say any actual numbers. We're just going to say ish. I'm going to cut these because I don't want them pressing against my lid, messing up my project any. I have to re-wipe that down. This one I'm going to do it too. Put that on there. Just because I'm worried if they're pressing on my, can you see? I can do this because you gotta just do what you gotta do. If something's messing up your project, change it, fix it. Okay, gotta re-wipe them down again. like this one down again. I touched it and it had a seed or something on there. Now they're not going to be pressing on my lid. I don't want anything pressing on my lid, messing up my project. I like success with my projects, not failure. So that's important. If something's messing up a little bit, fix it before you do your project. Zed, finger tight, not too tight. Finger tight. There. Got our 8 jars. Now, I got my handy dandy lift my jars and put them in here. I'm gonna start in the center just because I got a little tray down in there and I don't want my tray to tip or anything like that. And then I'm gonna try to keep it even as I go around. So keep that way. I got one jar that don't have a lid on it yet. So let me put my lid on this jar. Don't put them in there without a lid. That won't work. So then I'm gonna go over here. I want the water to cover the tops of my lids. You need it to cover the tops of your lids when you're doing a water bath. Now, if I was doing pressure canning, which I'll do a different day, you do not want your lids covered with pressure canning. You just put a little bit in the bottom. I know I did 8 in here. Let me get this in there. Gotta move over jars. Another jar is coming. There we go. It's down there. So I'm going to wait for that to come to a boil. See, my lids are all covered. I'll wait for it to come to a boil, and then I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. It's my pressure canner lid, but you can use your pressure canner for a water bath. You don't have to only use it for a pressure canner. So I'll set it for 15 minutes once that comes to a boil, and then my pickles will be done. I'll wait till tomorrow morning till they're cooled off, and then they'll be ready to eat. I'll put them in the refrigerator, and once they're cold, they'll be good. I can even later tonight, if my jars are cooled, I can go ahead and put them in the refrigerator tonight. So you don't actually have to wait till tomorrow. But it's recommended you're supposed to wait 24 hours. So there you have it. My pickles in their water bath. You know, that's super easy. So hopefully I inspired somebody. Get out there and make some pickles. Hope everybody has a good day.